Building is a pretty fundamental part of Minecraft, but a lot of people don't know where to start. Because of this, I have for you three little ideas, three little pillars, if you will, that will help you get better building in Minecraft. Our first pillar is location. Whenever I say location, I'm referring to the physical area around your base. Here we have a small little house made of spruce. On its own, it looks fine, but when you take into account that this is a desert, maybe it doesn't look as good. Instead, what we can do is we can use the palette of our location to help us. Instead of using darker colors, we can use lighter tones. Here we have an example of what I would argue is a good color palette and what I would argue is a bad. For a good color palette, you have colors go together nicely. Our bad color palette has blocks that don't go together, have very noisy textures, and overall just don't look good together.
It's useful to have at least one thing in your palette that has staircases and slabs.
I do think it's worth mentioning that while you can include a bit of a gradient, you should not make your entire palette the gradient. Final pillar shape. Here you can see a build where I put in a lot of shape. You can see that there is dimension, not all flat. I try to make the shape interesting by adding an offshoot and a roof that sticks out. Here we have a bad shape. This build has a little bit of an interesting shape. However, the roof is flat and bland and it has a 2-block center. Usually you want to stay away from. And here we have the worst shape. It has a full-on pyramid which has never looked good in
The history of mankind.